Yes guys, welcome back to the YouTube after many months of not recording or editing or doing anything. The last video I uploaded was September last year, and my plans were to document my whole off season with me getting a new coach, which I talked about in the last video I posted, and then into my prep and the run up to the first competition. I am today 8 weeks out. It is 27th of July. I'm competing at the UK DFBA Heart of England Championships on the 21st of September, a Sunday, in rugby. Feel like I'm sort of diving in at the deep end. It's my first competition and I already know there's some well-established people going to be there, but no matter what happens on the day, I'm going to bring my best, and whether I come first or last, it's all experience gained and feedback that'll be taken into the off season and improvements made from there. A bit's changed since my last video. Changed jobs 2 weeks ago. I turned 30 3 weeks ago, which is even scarier. Yeah, and now I've left the chef life behind me. I'm no longer working in kitchens after collectively I think 12 years I worked in kitchens. With this lifestyle, it just wasn't the profession to be in. Didn't really coincide with my goals. I was constantly knackered. It was making prep harder than it needed to be, and as much as I do love chefing, I love the place I worked at, it was just time to move on. So I'm now working for a local building contractor, doing like labouring and learning some new skills I'm really enjoying. I've gone from working late into the night to finishing obviously around tea time, so I've now got my evenings and most importantly my weekends back, and I think it's been about 6-7 years since I've had weekends off at a job, so even just 2 weeks in, it already feels like everything's a lot easier. I've got a lot more free time to focus on life outside of work, like my bodybuilding obviously, and obviously now getting back onto editing and recording YouTube videos, which I'm going to, from today, try and get out one a week in the lead up to my competition, and then obviously start posting more often as I get back into my next off season. It's just going to be the same as it was before, documenting my bodybuilding journey, food I'm eating and nutrition tips and training videos and training advice, and if there's anything else you'd want to see me do or talk about or whatever, just either comment or a link to my Instagram will be on my screen somewhere around here, and go follow me there where I post a lot more frequently, or I've at least started to again, because I sort of left that a bit dry as well. I'm going to sit and edit this video. I just wanted to film a little bit of an intro, and to be fair, it's probably worth reintroducing myself if anyone who hasn't seen my channel before is watching this. I'm Charlie, I'm 30 years old. I started natural bodybuilding maybe 2 years ago. I've trained for 8 years in a bodybuilding style, but obviously there was times where I didn't take it seriously and I let things slip and I wasn't really locked in, as most people would call it. Got myself a coach last year, a guy called Cam, who is a part of Team Conditioned Coaching, which has seriously just changed my life. Like, I had an idea of what I was doing beforehand, but since working with Cam and his advice and his guidance, the progress I've made in the past, 10 months, less than a year anyway, has been more than the 8 whole years of training that I've done so far. And I've seen significant improvements in my physique, in my mental health, in my well-being. And it's all down to just having that structure and accountability when it comes to having a coach. And at this point, I am the leanest I've ever been, and there's still a lot more to chip away at yet. But we've got 8 weeks to really dial it in, and I've got full faith in my coach. He's got full faith in me to get this job done and bring our best on show day, which I'm going to do. So I'm going to go to my check-in from this morning, do a little comparison with, some earlier check-ins, maybe when I was just started with Cam to just show the difference in my physique over the past 9 months. I've got a few training clips from my chest and back session at the gym today at Anytime Fitness Kendal, which actually does lead me on to something pretty cool. I've been wanting to go to Ultraflex Rotherham for a crazy amount of time now. I've followed a lot of bodybuilders and people who train there and always wanted to, because it genuinely looks like probably the best gym in the UK, and a lot of people do say it is. And as luck would have it, I spoke to a guy I know from the gym yesterday, and he said he's heading down there next Saturday, so I can finally get down there, get a good training session in, and honestly, I'll be like a kid at Christmas with the amount of machines and just everything they've got there. It's absolutely massive, and obviously I'm going to take full advantage of the posing room and do some proper posing rounds for you. Actually, that leads me on to another point. I did start working with a posing coach not too long ago called Christian, who is a head judge for UK DFBA, which is the federation I'm competing in, the drug-free bodybuilding association. And I've only had one session so far, and I'm going to get one booked in for this weekend. As I had to skip, I wasn't in the gym much last week as I pulled my back doing rack pulls, and I didn't want to turn a little niggle into something more serious, so I took a bit of time away from the gym. I've still got my meals in, still did everything else by the book. I just had, I think, 4 rest days in a row, which is the longest I've not trained for in, I don't even know how long, but I've never taken that long off the gym, I don't think, unless due to like illness or whatever. But yeah, I mean, in one session with him, my posing, like just little cues he showed me, I've now been practicing on, and it's completely changed my game. Obviously, I'm doing daily posing practice, as I do believe it's probably the hardest thing about bodybuilding. I mean, everyone, if you put your mind to it, can train hard, eat clean, but posing, like, if you've never done it before, it'll take a lot of work. And I mean, I've done quite a lot, albeit badly, over the years, as it's slightly improved, but I seriously think that I'm starting to get to the point where I'm going to present a very good look on stage with my posing. Let's go into the next part of the video, which is going to be some posing from my check-in this morning and some training clips from my session today, and then also a couple of posing videos in the gym from, well, when I had a pump. Yeah, so I'm just going to do like a bit of a voiceover / like little video in the corner, going through my posing and my training footage, maybe just speak a bit while obviously you're watching it. Probably see behind me, I do need to update them to be fair, but one thing that I've done is start writing out daily, and I need to do monthly goals and also a list for goals just overall for 2025. I'll go through a couple of them just quickly. I mean, daily goals, which I've put non-negotiable, is work for at least 1 hour on my coursework. As some of you will know, I am training to be a PT and coach. I'm working with Rtrn currently. I haven't actually done much the last couple of months. I think I'm 70% way through my level 2. So getting close to being able to do my final practical assessment on that one, and then move on to level 3. But just with how busy work had been and stuff happening in life, it just dropped off. I was doing an hour a day, and now I've started this new job and got more into my routine, and I'm settled in my new routine. This week I'm going to start doing an hour a day again, and hopefully I'll have that passed as soon as possible, as soon as it takes me to do it, really. Putting maximum effort to my training and diet, which is, I mean, just something I do subconsciously anyway. I actually find it harder to cheat on my diet and not train than I do to just do it. It's just a part of my life and it's ingrained in me now. But yeah, plan the day ahead, writing my daily planner, which is on the shelf behind me, which I've been doing. It just adds a bit more structure to my week, and even though for the most part I do the same thing every day, which does make life easier, if obviously I do make plans or something needs to happen or I need to do something for someone, if it's in my daily planner, I can obviously work the rest of my schedule around that. Spend less time on my phone and watching TV. I try and not use my phone as much as possible when I'm at home, and I mean I can't really use it at work because I'm busy for the most part, just to stop me from doom scrolling and wasting my time, which is the same for TV. It's very easy to start watching a programme and then all of a sudden 6 episodes later you're like, shit, I've not done anything today. And I mean, to be fair, on rest days, if I am just focusing on rest and recovery, I will binge watch a series. Watching Sneaky Pete on Netflix at the moment, which is an absolutely class show. If you haven't seen it, go and watch it. And work more on things that bring me closer to my goals, which is obviously everything that I'm doing on a daily basis, my daily habits, my morning routine, my nighttime routine, which I have done videos of in the past, but I'm going to do some updated versions of it in the coming weeks. And obviously, like, my supplement stack has changed, and what I take pre, intra and post workout. I'm going to do some full days of eating, and obviously my plan was to document this all from the start of prep, but I didn't do that, so starting here. And I mean, at the moment I'm currently on, off the top of my head, it's 2400 calories on training days and 2200 on non-training days. That could be slightly wrong. I'd have to check my app, my coaching app obviously, but I'm pretty sure that's what it is, which consists of 5 meals a day, which I'll go through that in another video. Won't bother talking about that now. And I have my 2025 goals, which is basically just pass my personal training exams, start working a job in the meantime, which is more aligned with my goals, which I have literally just started, so I can actually tick that one off if I find a pen. Compete at my first bodybuilding show, which obviously in 8 weeks I will be doing, so that one can get ticked off then. Make more money than I do now, which is something I'm working on, but changing jobs is slightly better for me financially. And obviously on the side of that, with all my spare time, I do plan to start an online coaching business at some point, obviously a bit closer to when I've passed my exams. Just so I've got them qualifications behind me to boost my business and show that I'm not just one of them people who has competed once and then decided we can tell everyone else how to do that, when for the most part these people that do that don't have a clue what's going on. They've just done like a 16-week prep, done a show, maybe won it or placed wherever, then decided that they're a prep coach. And also on a bit more like social media goal, I've put down I want 500 YouTube subscribers by the end of the year, which may be attainable now. It might not be because I've left it so late in the year to get back on it, but I'm currently at 62, so maybe, I don't know, a more realistic goal would be maybe like 200, but you've got to set unrealistic goals, otherwise you're just limiting yourself really. So yeah, 500 by the end of the year would be pretty sick. And 2,000 Instagram followers. I think I'm like just below 1,000 at the moment, and I am consciously trying to build my presence on Instagram up more as well, so hopefully in turn I'll be able to start growing them both, which obviously goes hand in hand with what I'm wanting to do. But yeah, anyway, I've rambled on long enough about that, so we'll get into the actual main part of the video, which is my posing and training. While I'm filming this, I am like watching my video back just so I know I'm talking about the right thing at the right time. But yeah, starting off with the front relaxed, going into a front double bicep. Obviously this was first thing this morning when I'd just woken up, so not all poses are perfect, but this is just my check-in, it's not an actual posing routine. Into the front lat spread. It really has become my favourite pose to hit. Never one of my favourites, but I am starting to settle into that look. And onto the side relaxed, which is one, until I got a posing coach I didn't realise I was doing completely wrong. My arms were in the wrong place, I just had no muscle on show, and it has definitely improved. Going into a side chest, which is another one I thought I was doing well, but with a few tweaks I've made with the help of a posing coach, I've made look completely insane compared to what it used to. Rear relaxed. I strongly think my back is my best asset right now. I mean, as I get leaner and leaner, I'm definitely starting to see what a great back I have built. And I mean, obviously it can always be better. There's a lot better backs out there, but for me, I'm absolutely over the moon with how it's looking. Obviously rear double bicep, and then rear lat spread. Obviously there's no funky transitions or anything for this, but I am starting to work on a posing routine, which I'm going to obviously do to music, which I'll be doing on show day. Side relaxed, facing the opposite way, which I feel is a stronger look from the other side. For some reason I feel like I'm more defined on that side. Maybe I just held the pose better, I don't know. I'm going into a side tricep, which another one I've always hated doing. But since getting some cues, I've vastly improved it, and I'm starting to look at it as one of my favourite. A little bit of abs and thigh. This is also a pose I struggled with and I could never make it look good, and I still feel like there's a lot of work to be done, but I'm getting better at my vacuums, I'm getting better at holding it, so hopefully within the next 8 weeks it will be a strong pose for me. And this is just a classic, I believe, teacup pose, which after I did it I was like, I did that completely wrong, so I need to get back to practicing that one again. But yeah, in the gym now. Start off on my chest and back days with pec fly. This was a working set, which I recently lowered the weight on because I was struggling to get to my desired rep range. But I felt when I came in today that this was actually a bit light, so I did, I believe, 14 reps at 72.5 kilos, and then onto my second working set I moved up to 80, and I believe I got 10, maybe it was 8 reps, but I usually go for an 8 to 15 rep range on my 2 working sets of pec fly. Just got to remember to really keep the stretch as you're going back. I mean, when you contract in the middle, you got to be able to feel your chest blowing up, which I mean, you can't see it because I've got a hoodie on, but I mean, I certainly could feel every part of that movement. Onto my warm up for back, as I do one chest, one back, one chest, one back, one chest movement. I think that's right anyway. So yeah, just warming up with some pull-ups, which I think I got maybe 12 or 13 reps here. I did actually get a PR on pull-ups not too long ago. I got 18 reps on my first set, which I'm very proud of. Obviously, as I'm getting lighter, they are becoming a bit easier to do. And then on my second set, I think I only got 10 reps, but it's a good way to just fire your back up. And as well as, I also did some cable pullovers and some light dumbbells, just warming up my shoulders and my scapula, and obviously warming up my chest. And into barbell rows. This is a bit of a crap one for me because obviously when I was mid-bulk I was rowing, I think it was 3.5 plates comfortably, and now I'm like struggling with just 2 plates, but still one of my favourite exercises for back growth. And then I went into a flat Smith press, 2 plates on this. Another one I've lost not actually that much strength with. I think I've lost about 15 kilos off this press, but I've changed my hand position recently, and the contractions I'm getting is so much better. So it's just proof you don't always need heavy weight. Leave your ego aside, lower the weight slightly, and I can trust you. Your chest, for one, will start growing more, and two, you'll enjoy the movement more because you'll actually be able to feel it in your chest. Then on to incline rows. I don't have a machine for this at my gym, unfortunately, so I have to make do with a bench and a cable stack. So it's not as effective as I think it could be if I had the proper incline row machine to do it, but it does its job. You just got to remember, keep your chest up and keep yourself supported with your other hand, and drive your elbow into your ribs and really get the most out of every control. And then on to the other side. I only do I do 2 working sets and 2 back off sets on this movement. I didn't film any of my back off sets today just because I wanted to keep the video in light and just get on with my workout. When looking back at this footage, it doesn't look like I'm bringing my elbow as far back as I probably could, but while I was doing it, it felt, I mean, the connection was incredible, and the pump I had walking around after it obviously shows that it was hitting the right spots. Into the next one, I did incline dumbbell press. This one I have lost significant strength on. Obviously it's a later exercise in my plan. I was throwing about, I think it was the 45s. It doesn't feel that long ago, maybe a couple of months ago, and I'm down to the 30s now. But it's another one where I've lowered the weight quite significantly, and my contractions and the feel in the movement have just been so much better. So, like I said, it's not all about the weight you push. To lat pull downs now. This isn't the normal bar I usually use. I usually use the longer straight bar, but I thought I'd give this one a go today because it's the same hand placement in the same place, and to be honest, it actually did feel quite good. Remember to bring the bar right down to your chest, hold the contraction and control the movement back up, but don't let yourself lock out at the top. Always keep that little bit of tension on the muscle. And as with all my other sets, well, all my other working sets, you've got to go to complete failure. Onto some post-session pump posing, as some people would call it. So yeah, onto some posing I did at the end of my session. Unfortunately, the lighting is fairly crap in my gym. No offence to anyone at the gym, but when it comes to record, I mean, I've got a 200 megapixel camera on my phone, and for some reason anything I film in this gym just comes out crap. I do have a vlogging camera that I need to start using. I literally bought it just before I stopped making YouTube videos, so I haven't had a chance to make much on it, but I will be getting that back out for footage, and hopefully some higher quality content will be coming real soon. But yeah, I only did like 4 pose rounds because I was running out of time on the parking and I had stuff to do afterwards, and then I moved to another part of the gym just to see if the lighting was any better, and in the mirror the lighting was better, but on camera once again it's just come out a little bit grainy and crap. Or maybe I just need to change the camera settings on my phone, because obviously I film it on pro mode, but I'm not a massive camera guy, so I don't have a clue what I'm doing besides googling it. And I don't know, if anyone's good with cameras and what settings for gym content, then please shoot me a message or leave a comment, because that would be massively appreciated. But yeah, this is coming into the last part of the video now, so this is where we say goodbye. But it feels good to finally knock a YouTube video up again and get some content out, and I hope you all enjoyed watching it. I mean, if you did watch all the way to the end, then comment, I don't know, comment water bottle, and yeah, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that good stuff. And if you have anything you want me to film or anything I should talk about. I might even do like a Q&A thing on Instagram and see if, I mean, no one might even ask me any questions, but I might do that and just see what sort of content people are looking for, and I'll try my best to help anyone with training and diet, and yeah. So yeah, thanks for watching, guys. See you in the next one.